I know the exact weight of the silence that crushes your chest. I heard when your soul cried out without making a sound, in the middle of that dark dawn where weariness seemed to overcome your hope. This is a message of reflection, based and grounded in the Word of God and the Holy Scriptures for your spiritual strengthening and growth. I prepared this encounter especially for you. This is God's message for your life now. I came to tell you that your prayer has been heard from heaven, but are you prepared to understand how and when my answer will manifest in your story? I am the Lord who searches hearts and probes the most hidden thoughts. As it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, I am near to those who have a broken heart and save those who are crushed in spirit. I collect each of your tears. I have never left you alone in your invisible battles, even when the cold of dawn made you doubt my embrace. If you remain here with me, I will reveal to you the profound purpose of this long wait. I will calm the storm in your mind and give you the exact direction and courage you need for your coming days. If this word of God is already touching and warming your soul, please leave a comment below with your name, the country, state, and city where you are feeling my presence right now, and the time where you are. And like a true and sincere cry that springs from within, write in the comments, Lord my God, I am here. I subscribed because I love you, and I really want to hear you. Take advantage of this moment of peace to confirm your subscription to this channel, leave your like of faith, and activate the notification bell. This will stay with me until the last word. I will give a clear answer at the end. A very special phrase will be whispered to the heart of whoever remains with me, and whoever writes this phrase in the comments will receive prophetic blessings released in faith. Your pain has not gone unnoticed, but there is a profound secret in the way I have chosen to answer you today. Heaven has already moved in your favor, but what I am about to deliver to you will restore your strength. To seal this first step of our journey, write here in the comments our word of faith declaring what I am to you now, my comforter. Take a deep breath and continue listening to me, for your spiritual restoration has begun, but the truth I will reveal next will completely remove the anguish from your soul. I feel the crushing weight that has settled on your shoulders, and I know the exhaustion that has invaded your spirit. The days go by, and, often when you look around, all you find is a silence that tightens your throat. The feeling of loneliness tries to convince you that you have been abandoned when the help you so desperately ask for seems to take so long to arrive. You wonder, in the intimacy of sleepless nights, if I have turned my face away, if your cries have been lost along the way. But I affirm, with sweetness and truth, that not a single word of yours, spoken or merely thought in despair, has fallen to the ground. In the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, it is written that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. I understand your inner exhaustion and your desire to simply give up on everything when life becomes too heavy. When disappointment knocks at the door, sucking away what little energy you have left, it is my strength that sustains your steps. This long wait is not a punishment and does not mean forgetfulness. It is the silent time where I am strengthening your roots so that no contrary wind will knock you down again. Your pain has been immense, but the restoration I am generating through your resistance will be incomparable. Your soul thirsts for definitive answers, and anguish tries to tell you that nothing will change. However, there is a profound movement in the spiritual world that you cannot yet see with your own eyes. Deliverance is not only on its way, but has already begun to destroy the chains that bound you to the past. If this embrace in the form of words brought any relief to your weariness, leave your gentle like as a sign that your faith still lives. Inspire other souls who also feel lost in waiting, sharing this touch of love with them. And if your heart desires to rest in my presence, you are welcome to join this spiritual refuge. Tell me now, in the depths of your silence, what is your heart pleading with me to endure tomorrow? Write in the comments the word of our covenant for this moment of your journey, my support. Remain attentive, because the promise I will reveal to you now will completely change your perspective on your days of loneliness and pain. I know the size of the desert you are crossing. I know how the hot sand hurt your tired feet, and how the thirst for an answer almost dried up your hope. But it is precisely in this arid soil, where everything seems impossible in your eyes, that I call you to plant. If it is possible for you, and only if your heart feels peace and conviction, transform your gratitude at this moment into a seed of love for this purpose. Consider my immense love and the love of my Son Jesus, and support this work using the link found in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. There you will find the safe place where your contribution of love can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can support with any amount, and always remember, only what fits joyfully in your heart. I receive your offering with profound love. The earthly size of the amount doesn't matter. What truly matters to me is the sincere heart with which it is given, because what seems little to you can be grand and abundant for the one who receives it and for the expansion of this word. Whoever contributes any amount with a true heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution. For on the first day of the following month, in a unique and very special video on our channel and page, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered and mentioned in gratitude through a prayer. For it is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, "A generous soul will prosper, and he who waters will himself be watered." Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and none of them will fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret, and reward in the sight of all. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. Your faithfulness and surrender open spiritual paths you cannot even imagine. There is a powerful mystery in the way I transform your desert into a flourishing garden. But the divine key to this turnaround will still be placed in your hands today. If this promise has brought hope to your weary soul, please give this video a gentle like. Subscribe to this channel to continue walking in my shadow, and share this message with someone who also needs living water in their own desert. Now that we are alone, answer me honestly. What are you willing to give into my hands today to see your tomorrow bear fruit? Write in the comments the word of our covenant at this moment. My seed. Prepare your spirit and do not back down, for the revelation that follows will show you the true reason for the silence you endured in your great affliction. I see the anguish that hides behind your forced smiles. There are times when you feel as if you are walking through a burning fire, where each trial seems to consume a little more of your joy and peace. The silence you have faced is not my abandonment, my daughter. I did not leave when the flames of disappointment and loss rose against your life. In fact, I have never been so close. In the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, it is written that the testing of your faith, far more precious than gold that perishes even though refined by fire, will result in praise, glory, and honor. I know that the pain of betrayal, the harsh words you heard in the past, and the losses that marked your history have deeply wounded your heart. The feeling of bearing a weight alone made your spirit weep in total darkness and isolation. But I want you to understand now with the eyes of the Spirit, this furnace was not lit to destroy you. I allowed the heat of this affliction to forge in you unwavering courage, to burn away the shackles of fear and purify your true identity in me. You are emerging from this fire much stronger, much more resilient, and with a spiritual glow that the sorrows of the world cannot extinguish. The silence that hurt you was merely the sound of me working on your inner structure. The flames of affliction are already losing their power over your mind, but the journey toward your complete restoration will require very specific nourishment, a secret sustenance that I have kept exclusively for your next steps, and that will make all the difference in your healing. If you felt the warmth of my embrace protecting you, leave your gentle like as a memorial of your resilience. Subscribe to this space of peace so that your faith continues to be built by my voice, and share this revelation with some soul who also cries amidst trials. Tell me something very intimate. What within your heart do you need my purifying fire to burn and take away forever at this moment? Write in the comments the word of our covenant that seals your purification. My potter, listen with all your attention, for the hidden nourishment that will keep you standing every day is about to be placed in your hands. I know that the early mornings have been lonely, and that the weariness of the long days makes your faith waver when tears fall hidden on the pillow. But just as I sent manna in the desert every morning to feed those who walked under the scorching sun, I have also prepared daily and constant sustenance, so that your soul may not faint in the midst of the long journey you are undertaking. For it is written in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his mercies never end. They are new every morning. If your heart desires to go deeper with me on this journey, know that I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, which I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared to accompany you day after day, bringing peace in silence and guiding your intimacy in times of affliction. Secure access to this companionship is also available in the link in the description of this video and in the first pinned comment. But listen carefully to my comforting voice, and if today is not possible for you, do not condemn yourself for anything. Remain with me here, because I too will sustain you, lift you up, and powerfully heal you through this message. And so that your heart may rest and not be confused by any doubt, after you calmly register, access will arrive in the email you registered with all the correct instructions in a simple step-by-step process to begin your daily transformation by my side. Take a deep breath, my daughter. Feel the love I am pouring over your pain. Your constant support has already been provided. But there is an invisible movement that you cannot see, and that is already on its way to untie all the knots of your present. If the certainty of this daily care has calmed your breathing, leave your gentle like as a gesture of rest. Enroll yourself in our celestial space to remain anchored in my presence, and share this light with some soul who is also weary in the deserts of life. Speak to me in secret. Tell me now, what kind of emotional nourishment does your spirit most crave to have strength tomorrow? Write in the comments our word of faith for this moment, my food. Pay close attention and don't lose focus, because the celestial order in your favor has already been given on high, and you need to understand how this answer will reach your life. I know that exact moment when you thought your strength had reached its unbearable limit. Remember that dark night when your crying seemed soundless, when your soul shrank and you felt the weight of the world crushing your breath. You believed in your human frailty that that sigh of pain had been lost in the void, that your laments filled with anguish had not passed the ceiling of your room. But I tell you, with the authority of one who governs eternity, at the exact instant your heart broke in affliction, heaven stopped to listen to you. In the book of the prophet Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12, it is written that from the first day you set your heart to understand and humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and help was sent. Your cry was not ignored for even a fraction of a second. When your spirit groaned in invisible pain, feeling forgotten by circumstances and weary of daily battles, my celestial order was already being released in your favor. The army of heaven mobilized precisely because of your tears. You have been walking lately with a persistent feeling of abandonment, but your deliverance is already tearing through the clouds, descending to meet you and undoing all the traps that were secretly set to make you give up. The order for your spiritual miracle has already been dispatched from my throne, but the turmoil in your mind still tries to prevent you from seeing the clarity of this answer. There is an overwhelming tranquility that is about to invade your inner storm, and you need to have an open heart to embrace it. If the certainty that you were heard from the beginning brought a breath of relief and hope to your heart, leave your serene like as an invisible testimony of your trust in me. Subscribe to this shelter of love so that your next steps continue to be illuminated by my voice, and deliver this message to that wounded heart that also suffers believing it has been forgotten in the darkness. Speak to me, in the comfort of our intimacy, with the sincerity of one who confides in the Father. What burden do you feel has already begun to lighten today, simply because you know that I have never relinquished control of your life? Write in the comments the word of our communion at this moment, my answer. Keep your spirit firm and your attention fixed here, for the true peace that I will pour upon your thoughts now will cease all the confusion in your story. I feel the storm that has been battering your thoughts in recent days. Your heart has been racing with fear of tomorrow, and anxiety has tried to steal the breath of your hope, making it seem like you can't breathe even when you are surrounded by others. I know that sudden affliction, that tightness in the chest that arises out of nowhere when constant worries about the future, disappointments that still bleed, and the uncertainties of life accumulate in your mind, forming gigantic waves that threaten to drown your sanity. You tried to swim against this relentless tide with your own strength, but the inner turmoil only increased with each attempt. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verse 39, it is written that he got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. At this very moment in your existence, I rise above the turbulent waters of your mind. I am rebuking the storm of doubts that has been robbing you of sleep. The wind of unreal anxieties and the sea of paralyzing worries are now falling silent before my loving authority. Feel the gentle touch of my spirit calming your breath, restoring life to your being, and installing a profound tranquility that surpasses any human comprehension. Despair is retreating, and my celestial serenity is taking the helm of your life. The turbulent waters have calmed, and you can finally breathe freely again. However, the radiant light that will solidify this new cycle in your history, the definitive seal of your liberation, still needs to be placed in your hands today. If the calmness of my touch has already begun to loosen the knot that tightened your throat, leave your gentle like as a sign that peace has found a home within you. Subscribe to this spiritual haven so that your heart is no longer lost in the violent waters of fear, and extend your hands to save another life, sharing this calm with someone who is also shipwrecked in sadness. Reveal to me, with a soul stripped of any weight, what your dawn would be like tomorrow, if absolutely no anguish haunted your thoughts. Write in the comments the word of our encounter in this calm, my port. Hold firmly to my hand, for the prophetic key that will make your sun shine definitively in the coming days is about to be whispered to your spirit. I contemplate the exact moment when the darkness of your longest night begins to give way to the first light of morning. You cried silently, kept your tears on the pillow, and believed that the shadow of affliction would be your final destiny. Exhaustion tried to convince you there was no way out, but my timing is perfect, and your resistance was not in vain. In the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, it is written that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I want you to feel now the first rays of this unwavering promise, warming your spiritual face and bringing life to your soul. Dawn has arrived for your story. The chains of fear, the uncertainties that imprisoned you, and the constant feeling that nothing would work out have been completely broken by the power of my love. This is the seal of your victory, the absolute confirmation that I honored every second of your silent waiting. Sadness packed its bags and definitively lost the address of your dwelling, making room for the profound peace you so earnestly begged me for in prayer. The sun of my grace is already shining brightly upon your steps, but so that you may never again stumble into the old traps of despair, I have reserved a final revelation, a key of power that will seal your journey and make you walk with your head held high. If the light of this dawn has filled your eyes with hope, leave your gentle light as a bright reflection of this new morning. Subscribe to this refuge so that my voice may always be the compass of your days, and share this sunrise with a soul that still stumbles in the darkness of pain. Answer me, now that the harsh night has passed. What is the first thing your heart desires to experience under the light of this new beginning? Write in the comments the word of our covenant for this new cycle, my dawn. Open wide the ears of your spirit and receive now the key that I promised to give you from the first moment of our meeting. I have led you to this moment of pure intimacy because your soul needed an unshakable anchor so as not to sink. Everything you've experienced, the silent pains, the sleepless nights, and the feeling of abandonment, served to empty your heart of false securities and open a definitive space for my absolute presence. You are no longer the same woman who began to hear my voice moments ago. The weakness that consumed you has been replaced by divine courage, and the severe doubt has given way to an unbreakable certainty that your paths are carefully designed by my hands. Remember the promise I made to you at the beginning of our journey? I kept a word, a prophetic whisper that will serve as an impenetrable shield and a sharp sword for all your coming days. I now deposit this sacred spiritual key within your spirit. The divine answer to your pain, the inexhaustible strength for your journey, and the full certainty of your victory are engraved in this revelation. Receive my word, appropriate this healing truth, and write now in the comments, as a powerful act of faith, surrender and response to heaven. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is the mark of your new time. Every time fear tries to cowardly return, every time the world seems heavy, this living phrase will be your invisible weapon. Your heart has found safe haven in me, but our healing journey doesn't end now. I have much more to reveal to you, deep secrets that will uproot the last roots of sadness and build a castle of peace in your mind. Continue walking side by side with me through the list of messages prepared on this channel. Delve deeply into our playlist where my voice will continue to sound, lovingly and patiently, restoring every piece of your story. Now, receive my final whisper in your spirit. You are the apple of my eye and the rightful heir to my promises. No storm in this world will extinguish the light I have just lit in you. Go in perfect peace because I have already prepared all your tomorrows.